All right, so get this.
Yeah.
We're diving deep into Christmas today.
Okay.
But not the usual, Santa and Rudolph
Yeah.
stuff.
Right.
We're going way back
Okay.
to the myths and legends.
Interesting.
Yeah, the stuff that maybe got, hidden behind all the tinsel and carols over the years.
I like that. Hidden behind the tinsel. It's true, though.
Right. Where did all this really come from?
Exactly. Peeling back the layers.
So we're lucky enough to have this amazing collection of Christmas stories.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's from Project Gutenberg, put together by Phoebe A. Curtis.
Okay.
And it's got everything, seriously heartwarming stories.
Like what?
Well, there's one called The Legend of the White Gifts. That's really sweet.
Uh-huh.
But then there's also, the classics.
Gotcha.
Hans Christian Andersen's The Fir Tree.
Ooh, yeah.
That one's a little less cheery.
Right, a bit darker.
Yeah, but thought-provoking.
Absolutely.
And to add even more to the mix, we've got excerpts from pasted text, too.
Wow, so we're talking like a real deep dive here.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be good.
You know that quote from Pasted Text about Christmas having this whole history of darker myths and legends?
Yeah.
That kind of sets the mood, doesn't it?
It totally does.
Christmas is supposed to be all joyful and bright.
Right.
But there's this, shadow side?
That we don't always talk about.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is why we're here.
To dig into that.
I'm excited.
Me too. Okay, so let's start with this Legend of the White Gifts.
All right.
So there's this king. Everyone loves him.
Okay.
And it's his birthday.
Big day.
Huge. So his people, they all want to bring him gifts.
Makes sense.
But the thing is, they can only give what they can afford.
Oh, interesting.
So some people are bringing these lavish presents,
Right. Showing off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But others, they can only bring simple things.
Like what?
Oh, like white rice, a single white rose.
Humble gifts.
But here's the thing. The king doesn't care about the fancy stuff.
Really?
He's not impressed by the price tag at all. So what matters to him?
It's all about the heart behind the gift, you know?
That's sweet.
Isn't it? It's the thought that counts.
Totally. It makes you think about our own gift giving, especially at Christmas.
Oh, absolutely.
When we donate to charities.
Yeah.
Is it purely out of the goodness of our hearts?
Mm-hmm.
Or is there a part of us maybe that wants to be seen as generous?
That's a good point.
Right. Like those courtiers bringing fancy gifts to the king.
It's we're all kind of performing a little bit.
Maybe a little.
It's interesting to think about.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so then we've got her birthday dream.
Okay, what's that one about?
So this one, it's almost funny.
How so?
Well, there's this Sunday school, and they're trying to have what they call a white gift Christmas.
A white gift Christmas? What's that?
The whole idea is to, shift the focus from getting presents
Okay.
to giving to others instead.
Interesting.
You can imagine how that went over with the kids, right?
Uh-huh. Probably not well.
No presents on Christmas. That's a tough sell.
So old rebellion.
But, it makes you think, right? This holiday is literally centered around a gift.
Yeah.
And then you're saying, no gifts.
It's almost like a contradiction.
It is.
Shows how deeply these traditions get ingrained,
For sure.
But anyway, so the story goes on.
Yeah.
And something really heartwarming happens.
Right.
The kids, who are all like, no way. At first,
Yeah.
they actually start to embrace this whole giving thing.
Wow. Right.
Yeah, and they end up experiencing this pure joy from giving.
That's so
It
cool.
really makes you realize how powerful a simple act of giving can be.
Especially at Christmas.
Yeah, when everything's already so focused on getting
Why it's like this reminder.
a reset button almost.
I like that.
Okay, now get ready for a literary adventure.
Ooh.
I'm intrigued. We've got two stories about our beloved Christmas tree,
2.
but they have totally different vibes.
Okay, interesting.
So first up is The Original Fir Tree by Hans Christian Andersen.
The cloud. Yep. And in this one, the tree, it just wants to be recognized,
Like we all do.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And for a short time, it gets to experience all the Christmas glory.
The lights, the ornaments.
The whole shebang. But then, well,
What happened?
it's over. The holidays are done.
Right.
And the tree gets tossed aside, basically.
Oh, that's sad.
It is. It ends up feeling totally disillusioned.
It's a bit of a downer, yeah.
But it makes you think, right? What was Anderson trying to say?
Yeah, it's interesting.
He was writing during the Industrial Revolution,
Right. Lots of change happening.
Exactly. And maybe he's drawing a parallel, between
Yeah.
the tree's disappointment
And what?
and how fleeting everything felt back then.
With all the new technology.
Yeah, the whole world was changing so fast.
So he's saying, even Christmas joy is fleeting. Maybe. Makes you think.
Right. Because isn't that true of all joy? In a way, not just Christmas joy.
I think you're onto something.
It's kind of deep, especially for a Christmas story.
And it's especially poignant now, right? When Christmas is so commercialized.
Totally. Like we're bombarded with messages about buying and getting.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in that.
Okay, but then to totally switch gears,
What's next?
we have how the fir tree became the Christmas tree.
Okay, and this one's different how
Well, at first, the fir tree is seen as too prickly.
too prickly for Christmas.
Yeah, and too sad, apparently.
Huh. That's interesting.
Like it wasn't considered festive enough.
So what changes?
Well, an angel comes along
Oh, okay.
and sees the fir tree's humility.
Ah,
So the angel decorates it with stars,
nice.
and bam, it becomes a symbol of Christmas joy.
It's a total transformation.
Isn't it? It's like
Mhm.
two completely opposite takes on the same symbol,
Yeah, one's all about outward appearances.
and the other's about inner beauty.
It's pretty profound when you think about it.
It really is. And it's not just about the Christmas tree either, right?
What do you mean?
It's like a lot of these Christmas stories are wrestling with these big ideas. Light and darkness, material stuff versus spiritual stuff.
You know, that makes me think about the timing of Christmas.
What about it?
Early Christians purposely chose to celebrate it around the same time as the pagan winter solstice festivals.
Interesting.
And those festivals were all about celebrating light coming back after the longest night.
So it's like they took something ancient and layered in their own meaning.
Exactly, creating something new and complex.
Like those layers are baked into Christmas itself.
It's fascinating.
Totally. And it's not just about light versus darkness either.
Right.
There's also this recurring theme of journeys and searching.
Ooh, like what?
Well, think about the shepherds in the shepherd story.
Yeah, they're searching for baby Jesus.
Exactly. And the magi in the west,
Following that star.
they're all on these journeys looking for something bigger than themselves.
And even babushka.
Oh, yeah. Forever searching for the Christ child.
It makes you wonder what we're searching for during Christmas.
Doesn't it?
Right.
Like, is it really just about presents and parties?
That's a good question.
It's a question worth thinking about.
Absolutely.
And to keep exploring that idea, we're going to delve into some more of these stories.
Sounds good to me.
Each one has its own unique journey to uncover.
I can't wait. You know, when we were talking about searching for something bigger,
Yeah.
it made me think of Little Piccola.
Oh, little Piccola.
It's all about finding joy,
Yeah.
but like in the simplest thing.
And in the midst of, well, not having much.
Exactly, poverty even.
That story always gets me.
It's a good one.
So there's this little girl in Italy, Piccola,
Right.
and she hears all about Santa Claus from her friends.
Her American friends, right?
Yeah, they're going on and on about
Since
stocking.
are flowing with presents.
Exactly. But Piccola, she doesn't even have a stocking.
Aw, no.
So she's heartbroken, thinking Santa won't visit her.
That's so sad.
It is. It's like that feeling of being left out
Especially at Christmas.
when everyone else seems to be getting so much.
It makes you feel like you're missing out. But Piccola, she doesn't give up.
Right. She comes up with this idea.
What does she do?
She decides to leave one of her wooden shoes out for Santa.
Instead of a stocking.
Yeah, it's all she has.
Clever girl.
And in the morning,
What's in the shoe?
not toys, not candy,
What is it then?
a tiny bird.
A bird.
Yeah, a little injured bird.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It's such a beautiful twist, right?
It really is. Like, the best gifts aren't always what we expect.
Exactly.
For Piccola, that bird becomes this symbol of hope.
And companionship.
Something way more valuable than any toy.
It's like the story saying that sometimes the best gifts are the ones that need our care.
The ones that need us to look after them.
That's a good way to put it.
And, you know, that brings us back to this idea of generosity over materialism.
We talked about it with the legend of the white gifts.
But it's even stronger in The Boy with the Box.
Oh, that story gets me every time.
It's powerful stuff.
This boy, he has almost nothing himself.
Right, but he's so giving.
He shares his Christmas dinner with people who are less fortunate.
Knowing he'll have even less.
It's a real reminder about what generosity truly means,
It's not about how much we have, it's about sharing what we do have.
even when it's hard.
Especially when it's hard.
A good message for Christmas time.
When everything's about buying, buying, buying.
Right. This story is like an antidote to all that.
And it's not just about giving material things either.
What do you mean?
Kindness, you know?
Oh, yeah.
A simple act of service.
Helping someone out.
A kind word. Even
Just listening to someone who needs to be heard.
those things can mean the world.
Absolutely.
They can be incredibly powerful.
Speaking of powerful acts of service,
What are you thinking of?
the worker in sandalwood.
Oh, Hyacinth's story.
It's so beautiful.
I'm kind of different.
Yeah, it takes us outside the usual Christmas setting.
No snow, no reindeer.
Nope. Just this young apprentice, Hyacinth, and well,
His not-so-nice master.
he's treated pretty harshly.
But he does and finds comfort in his work.
He's making this intricate cabinet out of sandalwood.
And the wood itself is like this source of beauty for him.
Right, he finds solace in it.
And then, on Christmas Eve,
This mysterious stranger shows up,
out of nowhere,
and he stays with Hyacinth as he works through the night,
keeping him company.
sharing stories, offering comfort.
It's almost like a...
Christmas miracle.
Yeah, because in the morning,
The cabinet's finished,
miraculously,
and it's adorned with these incredible carvings.
carvings that Hyacinth couldn't have possibly done.
It's like faith, compassion, and the power of belief all rolled into one.
It suggests that even when things are tough,
Even in the darkest of times.
there's still room for grace.
And help can come from unexpected places.
That's a good point.
Okay, so we've talked about journeys, finding joy, generosity.
Lots of big themes.
But what about duty? Responsibility?
Like in The Shepherd Who Didn't Go.
Exactly. While everyone else is running off to see baby Jesus,
This one shepherd, David,
he stays behind.
to guard his flock.
He's got a job to do.
And of course, what happens?
Trouble. A wolf shows up.
Threatening the sheep.
David has to defend them.
Even though it means missing the big event.
The birth of Jesus.
It's a powerful story about responsibility.
And courage.
Doing what's right, even when it's hard.
Makes you think about what it really means to live out your faith.
Sometimes it's not about grand gestures,
Sometimes it's about the everyday choices.
the quiet acts of service.
And David's dedication doesn't go unnoticed.
Right, he's rewarded for his faithfulness.
Which kind of reinforces the idea that doing the right thing
Even when you miss out on something.
is its own reward. It's like he chose the less glamorous path.
But the one that needed him most.
Totally. And it turned out all right in the end.
Yeah, sometimes that's how it goes.
You know, it's funny, we've been talking about all these stories,
Yeah.
and I just realized how many of them involve shoes.
Shoes.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
little Piccola with the wooden shoe.
Right, right.
And then there's little Gretchen in the wooden shoe, too.
You're right.
It's kind of weird, right?
Well, shoes are often seen as symbolic.
Symbolic of what?
A journey, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Or a container for something precious.
Like a vessel.
Exactly.
So in Little Gretchen, the shoe isn't just a shoe,
It's part of her journey.
a journey of faith.
You could say that.
So Gretchen, she's this little girl living with her grandmother.
And they're poor.
Yeah, they don't have much,
They want Christmas gifts,
of course.
but they can't afford them.
Right, so it's a tough situation.
But Gretchen, she's amazing.
She is.
Instead of being sad about what she doesn't have,
Yeah,
she focuses on making others happy.
like a little Christmas angel herself.
Exactly. She decorates their home, helps out a sick neighbor.
She's got such a big heart.
She does.
And then there's that part where
Well,
they can't afford a Christmas tree.
right.
So she takes her grandmother's wooden shoe
Okay.
and puts it on the windowsill.
Why does she do that?
She's hoping the Christmas angels will leave a gift.
Aw, that's so sweet.
It's like this little symbol of hope.
A tiny vessel.
And in the morning,
What do they find?
a bird.
Another bird.
Yeah, but this one has a broken wing.
Seeking shelter.
It's like the perfect gift for Gretchen.
She's so caring.
She'll take good care of it.
You know, it's interesting.
Who it is?
Both Little Gretchen and Little Piccola,
Yeah.
they both kind of show this mix of poverty and hope.
Which is often part of Christmas. You think about it.
It's like, even when things are tough,
The spirit of Christmas can still shine through.
and sometimes it shines even brighter.
Because of the hardship.
Maybe
It's a good reminder.
that the true spirit of Christmas,
Yeah.
it's not about stuff.
It's about something more.
Human connection, compassion.
Love.
Exactly.
Okay, we can't wrap up this deep dive.
Already.
I know. Time
It
flies.
does.
But we can't finish without talking about the Magi in the West.
Ah, the wise men.
Gaspard, Melchior, Balthazar.
On their epic journey.
The ultimate Christmas road trip.
Uh-huh.
But with, like, a much deeper meaning
Right. They're searching for the newborn king.
following that star.
It's interesting how this story adds to the nativity scene.
Yeah, we get to see their individual journeys.
Each one faces challenges,
We all have different experiences.
but they're all guided by the same thing,
the star.
and it leads them to the same place.
And I love that part where Balthazar finds the Christ child.
Yeah.
Not in a palace or anything.
But in a humble cottage.
It's like true divinity can be found anywhere.
Doesn't need fancy trappings.
Right, it's about something deeper.
Much deeper.
So after all these stories, all these myths and legends,
What have we learned?
it seems like Christmas has always been about more.
More than what we see on the surface.
The presents, the decorations
It's got this whole history.
of light and darkness,
Generosity and longing.
the material and the spiritual.
It's a season of contradictions almost.
But that's what makes it so interesting,
It invites us to reflect.
to think about what really matters.
To connect with something bigger than ourselves.
And maybe, just maybe,
Yeah.
these stories can inspire us to offer our own white gifts,
Acts of kindness, no matter how small.
to embody that true spirit of Christmas.
That's a beautiful thought.
Because in the end,
Yeah.
the real magic of Christmas,
Isn't about what's under the tree
it's about the connections we make.
and the love we share.
Well said. So on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive.
Already.
I know.
Time flies when you're having fun.
It does. But if you want to keep exploring these themes,
Which I highly recommend.
check out the full stories from Project Gutenberg.
They're definitely worth a read.
Until next time, happy holidays, everyone.
And keep exploring.